everybody, welcome back to another awesome episode of Elevated Business. Today we have Michael Newton in the studio. He's a father of 5, a real estate advisor at Coldwell Banker. So we're gonna be learning about a new definition of success. So sit tight, hang on to things, let's get going. Welcome to Elevated Business, where I'm your host, Mitch Hardington. Join me on a captivating journey as we unravel the real stories of entrepreneurs. Mastering the art of business, because success is not just about the destination, but the remarkable journey it takes to get there. Right on. So Michael, super excited you're here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for spending some time to be here. I really just want to jump right into this because you've got some amazing things to say. So I would love to hear what your definition of success is.
Absolutely, Mitch. Once again, thank you so much for inviting me to your show, and giving me the opportunity to share, some of these ideas. I'm not anybody special or anything like that. I'm a regular man trying to live his life, and so when we talk about success, and you and I have talked about this before, if I could say anything about success is if I'm waking up in the morning and I'm happy, that means I'm being successful. On the contrary, if I'm waking up in the morning and I've got anxious thoughts, or I'm depressed, or I didn't sleep well because I had too many things going on in my head, then I must be failing at something, right? And I'm sure some people in the audience are thinking, oh, I thought he was gonna talk about how to make a lot of money. Because our communities, they tend to describe success as what kind of car you're driving, how big is your house, how much money you're making. I believe that is absolutely the wrong way to look at it. So going back to what I just said about waking up happy, and why is that success? It's because it means that there's peace inside of me. It means that everything that I have said I was going to do in terms of my relationships at home, relationships with my clients, my spirituality, relationships with myself, and anything else that I've committed to is completed. That gives me peace and that gives me happiness. And so I can get up in the morning and be at peace with the fact that I've done everything I can about the things that I can control. And if I can do that, well, then I'm successful.
That's so incredibly powerful, because my grandpa years ago was an incredibly successful international businessman. He has companies all around the world. And he said something to me that's always resonated. And he said, who you are as a person really determines your happiness and success. Because who you are, if you add money to it, if you're happy or sad, you just become more of that. So I love what you said, that success really starts from inside of you and then pours out, and then things get added to you which amplify kind of who that is. So who are you really at the core as a person is really what's determining success for you.
Right. Yeah, who you are at the core, exactly. And the amplification of who you are with the more success that comes into your life, it just becomes more amplified. And so who I am, I've never actually tried to define who I am, but here we go. I'm gonna give it a shot now.
Right on.
If I was to start with anything, I would start with God. For me, God is very real, and He's present in my life all the time. And so when I go about taking action towards living my life, I listen to the guidance that God is providing to me so that I can put forward the best version of myself possible. I'm not perfect at that. There's a lot of things that get in the way in being able to achieve that. But that has led me to being a certain human being. And so right now, you can say that I'm a successful father of 5. And why do I say that? Well, I'll tell you what. I came home last night, I opened the door, and as soon as I opened the door, I've got 5 children and a wife running towards me, hugging me and kissing me. And if that's not success, then what is? And I can only thank God for that. Because like I said at the beginning of this interview, I'm not anyone special. I'm just a man trying to live my best life possible. But to me, that's success. And if I had to define that further, that's relationships. What about friendships? What about business? What about fitness or any other hobbies that someone else might have, right? For me, fitness is important. So if you had to define me, Michael is someone who likes fitness, right? I would like to think I'm a good husband, although I can tell you I'm not a perfect husband. And I love my wife dearly, so you can certainly say that I'm a man who loves his wife, right? And is that success? I think so. Because marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. It's all hard. But if we're married and we love our spouses and we know we love them, then we're going to act with love, and that is success. So you can feel free to define me as a loving husband, a loving father, a dedicated. I'm dedicated to my profession and to my clients as well, ensuring that every action that I take towards helping my clients is designed around what's best for them. And so making every effort possible to remove myself from the equation and putting them first, because that's why we're here. This is why you do what you do. Because you're here to help people. This is why I do what I do, because I'm here to help people. But it all gets clouded in this world where we all start thinking about what's in it for me. And then we lose sight of what's really important. And it's that if we're actually here for somebody else. And as long as we continue to have faith that we're doing what we're doing for somebody else, and we follow, I follow what God is asking me to do, then the faith remains strong and then gets stronger in the fact that I'm going to be okay and that my family and my friends are going to be okay as well.
I love that. I love the vulnerability in that. So I just want to take a second to pause and just thank you for being who you are and being open and willing to share, something that's that deep and personal. A lot of people wouldn't necessarily open up about something like that. So just thank you for doing that.
Oh, my pleasure.
So I want to kind of shift the focus from that. So Michael defines success as who he is at a core, which spills out into life. Would that be fair to say so far?
Yes, that's very fair, yeah.
Okay, so let's transition that to your business. So how do you, when you feel success, how does that translate into your success in business?
Right. Okay, so let's start with this, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but let's not lose track of it, because I think success in business comes down to one fundamental thing, and that is to do the things that I say I'm going to do. And I think that if we all keep that in mind, and we do those things that we say we're going to do, then I will become successful. You will become successful. Everybody will become successful. Because when we don't do the things that we say we're going to do, who is the first person that we let down?
Yeah, it's ourselves.
It's ourselves. And if I'm letting myself down, how am I going to be of use to anybody else? I'm not. So I have to be true to myself first. And there's a phrase I like to use. I can't remember if we talked about this before, but it's called commitment before ego.
Oh, I love that.
When we take a look at commitment before ego, what it means to me is that I'm committed before my ego gets in the way. And so how can my ego get in the way? Well, my ego can get in the way in a couple of different ways. So if I'm committed to something and I don't do it because of maybe I'm embarrassed. Let's use this podcast as an example. Let's say I was very self-conscious about how I look on camera and I decided not to do this podcast even though I said I would because I had a bad hair day. Right? I mean, I never have a bad hair.
Like, how's my hair right now? You're saying that, like,
I regress. By the way, you look great.
Thanks.
If I had let you down, I would have let myself down first and I wouldn't have kept my commitment. So how would that look like to you? You would lose trust in me. You would not be able to count on me next time you needed something. But I would not be able to count on myself. And I would feel myself, I would feel like I let myself down. And then I have to go out and live my life with that subconscious feeling of, I just let myself down, I just let Mitch down, I just let the audience down, I let a lot of people down because I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And we can have many examples of that. I mean, what do most people commit to on a daily basis that they say they're going to do and they don't? Going to the gym, for example. So many people say, I want to lose weight, I want to get healthier, Well, it's very simple. Go to the gym and eat healthy. It's simple. But we don't do it. And why don't we do it? I mean, that's a different conversation. But the fact that an individual may not do that affects their own self-confidence on themselves, and then they have to go out and live by that. Which brings me to the other part of the commitment before ego statement, which is I don't commit to something that I'm not able to do, because if I do that and I fail, it affects everything else. So now I check my ego before I make that commitment. Does that make sense?
Are you paying attention right now? That was absolutely incredible, and I could not agree with you more. People think sometimes that it's, success is all of these other things, but I love the way you worded it. It starts with you. If you can't trust yourself, and you might think, it's one little white lie, or it's one, commitment I didn't get. One leads to another, and now it becomes easy. And now you're like, I'll say I'm gonna do things, and then you never do.
Right.
All you're doing is cheating yourself. You're taking this like death by 1,000 little cuts, and those are gonna add up to the point, just like you said, where now I don't trust myself going outside. I'm gonna go to the gym. Your subconscious belief is saying, are we actually gonna do that? And now you're letting your clients down, you're letting your team down because it all started back with you and not being able to trust yourself.
Right.
I love the way you worded that.
Yeah, awesome.
And then the second piece about ego, it's okay to say no. Would you agree?
100%. In fact, we should be saying no a lot more often than we're saying yes. We should be saying yes to only the things that truly matter to us, our families, our clients. We should be saying yes to those things, and we should be saying no to everything else. If somebody is asking us to do something that is not in line with our purpose, the answer should be no, without a second thought. It's not easy though.
No.
And the reason it's not easy is because we don't know what our purpose is.
Yeah.
We are so far out of touch with ourselves. We get confused as to what's truly important. But when we have it defined and when we have it clear in ourselves of this is my purpose and this is okay for me to move down this path, then we're able to eliminate all the noisemakers and stay focused on the things that are truly important.
Wow. So I just want to try and summarize a lot of the things you just said.
Of course.
Okay, success starts inside of you. Success is who you are on the inside. That success then spills out into your business, which then creates success in your business. Courage before ego
Commitment.
Commitment before ego. Thank you for that. Commitment before ego. And that again starts with self.
Right.
Right? It's keeping the commitments to yourself so that excuse me, that can then translate into your business, or now you believe that you're going to do something and your clients see that.
Right.
And now your business becomes more successful.
Exactly.
And the last one, the ability to say no, checking that ego.
Right.
Which again comes back to self. What's my purpose? What am I doing? Because if you're just a yes man and saying yes to everybody and everything, is that really aligning with who you are and what your strengths are and where you're going?
Exactly.
So again, the summary of the summary is it all starts here. It all starts with you.
It all starts with
and it spills out from there.
Yeah. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, if you'd like to, go ahead.
You're welcome to use the beep.
Yeah.
But stop fucking lying.
Yeah.
That's the core, you know? And you mentioned it a couple of times, whereas we lie to ourselves. We think we can do it all. We can't. Mm-hmm. We can't. We can only do certain things at certain times.
Yeah.
When we lie to ourselves, we confuse our identity, we confuse our purpose, and we think we're lying to somebody else. No, we're lying to ourselves. A white lie, a big lie, it doesn't matter. We're lying to ourselves. So the opposite of lying to myself is telling myself the truth. And so being in touch with my own truth is what's going to allow me to set up the tasks, the framework. That's what I'm trying to say. The framework around what is my identity and how am I going to show up in the world so that I can be successful.
I absolutely love that. So thank you so much for being here today. There's so much more we could obviously talk about, and I'm sure that we're going to have a couple additional amazing conversations. But just for today, if people wanted to get a hold of you, get in contact with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, very easy. If you want to get a hold of me, feel free to call me directly at 403-512-9825. That's actually my direct line, so you won't have to talk to anybody, an assistant or anyone else. Or just go to my website at www.michaelnewton.ca, and you'll find my email address and contact information there.
Michael, thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait until our next conversation. So until next time, everybody, keep being amazing. As we conclude this episode of Elevated Business, I'm Mitch Hardington, reminding you that every challenge is a stepping stone to greatness. Stay tuned for more stories of entrepreneurs who are shaping their destiny. Until next time, elevate your business and dreams.